Hello everyone, in this video we will learn about gymnosperm. So in gymnosperm we are including those plant and trees that are having a nagged seed. And in these type of plants the ovules which are not enclosed by any type of ovary wall and they are remain exposed both before and after fertilization. And just because the seed that are formed after post fertilization they are not covered, they become nagged, and that is why we are including all the nagged seed producing plant in gymnosperm. Gymnosperms include the medium sized trees or tall trees or shrubs, so all type or all size of plant and trees are included in this gymnosperm. One of the gymnosperm, the giant redwood tree sequoia, is one of the tallest tree species. Now the root that are produced or that are found in these type of gymnosperms are basically taproot. Now the roots in some genera having the fungal association in the form of mycorrhiza. That means in their roots they are having a fungal association that we call the mycorrhiza, while in some of the species like Cycas, small specialized roots that we call the colloid root are associated with nitrogen fixing cyanobacteria. So in some plants they are having a fungal association, while in some plants they are having a specialized root that are associated with nitrogen fixing bacteria. Now the stem are unbranched like in cycas or branch in pinus or citrus. So the leaves and maybe the leaves which are found in these plants they may be simple or compound. So both type of leaves are found in there. Now in cycas the pinnate leaf, it persists only for few years. That means it is temporary, it will persist only for few years, and the leaf in the gymnosperms are well adapted to withstand extreme of temperature, humidity and wind. So these leaves are easily withstand with extreme condition like temperature, humidity and wind. Now in conifers, the needle-like leaves reduce the surface area, and due to their reducing the surface area, they are also having a thick cuticle and sunken stomata. Also, it help in reduction of water loss. So they are easily withstand with the water loss condition or in any type of extreme condition where the water is too much less. At that, they are able to withstand. The gymnosperms are heterosporous. That means they are producing two type of spores, the haploid microspore and the megaspore. Now the two kind of spores are produced within the sporangia, and that sporangia are borne on sporophylls which are arranged spirally along an axis to form a lax or compact strobili or cone. So whatever the spores are present, these spores are produced in sporangia. These sporangia are present on sporophylls, and these sporophylls are spirally arranged on an axis and form a compact strobili cone or a lax. Now the strobili bearing the microsporophyll and microsporangia are called the microsporangiate or male strobili. Now these microspores develop in the male gametophytic generation, which is highly reduced and is confined to only a limited number of cells. So whatever the microspores are developed, they are the male gametophyte and they are highly reduced because they are not having so much number of cells, they are having very small number of cells. Now this reduced gametophyte is known as the pollen grain. Now the development of pollen grain take place within the microsporangia. The cones bearing the megasporophylls with ovule or megasporangia are called the macrosporangiate or female strobili. So whatever the cone that is having the megasporophylls with ovule or megasporangia, we call them female strobili or macrosporangiate. The male or female cone, it may be present on the same tree like in Pinus, or it may present on the different tree like in Cycas. The megaspore mother cell is differentiated from one of the cell of the nucellus. So it is produced from one of the cell of the nucellus. The nucellus is protected by the envelopes and the composite structure is called the ovule. So whatever the nucleus is present, it is covered by an envelope, and that complete structure that is covered, we call them ovule. Now, the ovules are born on megasporophylls which may be clustered to form the female cone. So whatever the ovules are there, they will be present on the megasporophylls, and they may be in the form of clustered to form a female cone. The megaspore mother cell divide meiotically to form four megaspores. One of the megaspore enclosed with the megasporangium, that is the nucellus, develop into the multicellular female gametophyte, and that bears two or more archegonia or female sex organs. The multicellular female gametophyte is also retained within megasporangium. So whatever the female gametophytes produce, it will always retain on the megasporangium. Now, unlike bryophytes and pteridophytes, in gymnosperm, the male and female gametophyte do not have an independent or free living existence. That means it is not like that whenever the gametophyte will form, it will detach or it will remove from the sporophyte and it will be free living. So there is no free living structure in the gametophytes. So whatever the gametophyte is present, it will retain on the sporophyte. Pollen grains is released from the microsporangium. They are carried in air currents and come in contact with the opening of the ovule borne on megasporophylls. So whatever the pollen grains are there, they will release in the air, they will carry it in the air current, and they will come in contact with the opening of the ovules which is borne on the megasporophylls. Now the pollen tube carrying the male gametes grow toward the archegonia in the ovule and discharge their content near the mouth of the archegonia. Now following fertilization, the zygote develop into an embryo and ovule into seed, but these seeds are not covered, and that is why they are included in gymnosperm.